Alright, guys. We've got ourselves the semi-finals of the KSL Summer Slam. Dragon Kaiser Gaming's Dark in the bottom left, up against Dragon Kaiser Gaming's Hero. It's funny, we got Dragon Kaiser Gaming battle between Hero and Dark here. And the other semi-final, Maru Solar, an onside semi. So onside and Dragon Kaiser continuing to dominate the Korean scene. And it looks like Dark's hatchery getting blocked nice and early. Looks like this was probably a 13 pylon, I would imagine, by Hero. As this is a very big map, takes a while to get across. Now the hatchery does go down at a very good time for Dark. 51 seconds. It's only a few seconds after a normal 16 hatchery. So looks like he's been sending that drone out a little bit earlier recently, which is good to see. Good counter micro for him on the drone so far there. But oh no, his drones do start getting bounced off. And Dark is usually one of the weaker players at defending this harassment, so well worth Hero to just keep disrupting his mining like this. Notice Dark's drones are dancing all over the spot, trying to find places to mine. You can see this guy's dancing around, that guy's dancing around, and lots of the drones struggling to find somewhere to mine from. So definitely really well worth it. Dark, of course, with his lack of attention to detail in the early game, has often ended up with 3 workers on these patches and only 1 worker on some of these close patches that Hero's really focusing on denying. But Dark's actually evening them out afterwards, so even though his initial defense wasn't that good, he's back to perfect saturation now. He's done an okay job. Not too bad. Hero's gone second gas. We'll see a second pylon come up momentarily, and it looks like he's going to build it here. Hide the Stargate or Twilight Council quite far back, make it very difficult for him to see what's going on. See this probe really keeping up the harassment, but he knows there's Zerglings on the way, so he's like, okay, my time is done. Hey, look at that. Dark actually fixed up the mining there. Good attention to detail. Well done, Dark. I've criticized him a lot over the past few months of not being focused in that early stage. So far, this has been a very good opening for him. Having the third base is always a bit frustrating, but Hero's not going to press the issue. No chrono boost on the Adept, just chronoing probes and going for the quick Stargate. Adept's going to threaten the shade out. Notice he hides the Adept. So, of course, Dark doesn't know that that shade got cancelled as soon as it was out of vision. As far as Dark knows, that Adept could be coming across the map, or it could be hiding on the high ground waiting to stop the Zergling Scout. And a third hatchery on the way for Dark as well. So Hero's just macroing up. I always feel Hero's best at just attacking and attacking and attacking in the early game. And going for a defensive Adept opening into a Phoenix first to deny an Overlord or two. Not my favorite opening from Hero, but he's been doing this more recently in order to deny his opponent's information. The problem is, Dark doesn't really scout. Denying his information gets minimal gains compared to someone like Serral, who is much more focused on scouting what you're doing and reacting to it. So I'm always a little doubtful of the impact of denying an Overlord. That being said, we'll see what he can do in the follow-up to find some more damage. Hero does need another pylon before his third Nexus. The third Nexus is naturally quite delayed with this build. But he's got to start that pylon right now, otherwise he's going to get supply blocked. Okay, he does start the Nexus pre-pylon. He will go for the pylon just afterwards. It's okay on its positioning. It is a bit too far to the right, so those Adepts will get surrounded by Zerglings if it goes in. Overlords are getting pushed back to create openings, and the Oracle will come across. Forge goes down behind this very early Forge. It's interesting. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Okay, no. He goes Twilight and Robo. It's a charge opening. Yeah, it's a charge opening. Okay, so I think Hero just wants a very quick +1 upgrade, potentially to a Charge Lord Archon timing with that. And Phoenix Oracle ain't finding anything so far. The Oracle could have dove through and got a few of those units, but Dark's handled it okay. Similar worker counts for both sides. Evo Chamber coming up for Dark, going to allow him to go for the fast melee upgrade, which of course sets you up for Ravager, Zergling, Baneling. Could go Massling, Bane, Hydra as well. Dark's a bit of a mad lad. He's been doing some Massling, Hydra stuff. Oracle's going to come in, get a few creep tumors. It's something, but really not too impactful with another creep tumor right there. Charge and +1 do start up. The Robo's there. With 4 gases mining, 49 workers. I wonder how many gateways Hero goes. Does he commit to a full-on, like, 8-gate assault? Is it just an Archon drop? He's actually going Observer before Warp Prism. But he is going up into lots and lots of gateways. That's 7 gates. I think we'll see gateway number 8. There we go. So it's 8 gateways. He does chrono his third, but notice he's not building probes off his main array's natural. So this is a very fast timing attack. He's at most going to about 55, 56 probes. But it's amazing that he's building an Observer first. That's such a surprising choice. This feels like an incredibly committed +1 charge lot Archon timing attack. And if you do that, I actually think you want more than 8 gateways. 8 gateways will do a decent timing attack, but if you really want to go all out, you're going to need 10 to 12 gateways. And a Baneley Nest goes down. Dark's playing Hydra Bane. Dark is not going to have Roach Tech out at all. He's going to try to go Hydra Bane. This should be a free win for... Maybe not a free win, but... definitely an advantage build order for Hero, who's also picking up a drone chain, trying to take this 5th base. Hero might think he's denying... No, that's only the 5th. That's really not that impactful. The 4th base is already almost finished up top. Zergling comes in. I don't know if it saw the prism. Let's go to Dark's vision. Does Dark have any idea what's happening? He's at 61 drones, and he is making nothing but Zerglings. He starts a Roach Warren. He knows what's up. He knows what's up, but the Roach Warren is very, very late. He needs Mass Ling Bane, and if he can get Queens on top, that'll be good. 4 units are already going to unload Mass Zealot. Wait, he's not going Archons? He never made the Templar Archives? But he's got 800 gas, no 4th base. What is this? His +1 is still 10, 12 seconds. His +1 was late. I told you guys he wanted the fast +1, but he's a little bit late on it. It is a surprisingly crisp timing, though. 6 minutes 30 with so many Zealots. The +1 not being done is a disaster for Hero. It finally kicks in, but I think there's enough Zerglings. It might not matter. Those Zealots needed to clump up more. The Zealots are getting surrounded before the next warp in comes in. That's hell. Dark holds it. Hero messed up this timing. He did not have his +1 ready, and he did not use any Archons despite having 1,000 gas. He loses his whole 3rd mineral line, and Hero shows us what can best be described as a hot mess of a PvZ opening. It was very good for taking advantage of a Zerg that doesn't have a Roach Warren ready if he made Archons. But to push there without Archons and without the extra 2 gateways I was talking about, it means, well, okay, it must just be a distraction. You must just be doing this to catch your opponent off guard and get a 4th base behind it. But no, there was no 4th. There was no follow-up. And I've got to question exactly what his decision-making was focused on. He does get a lot of drones there. Don't tell me Hero's going to do this. Oh my god, he spreads the Zealots in time! Zerg... Well, why is Dark not building Roaches? Dark's still building Zerglings! The only thing sloppier than Hero's timing right now is Dark's response. He's been building Zerglings for the last minute when his Roach Warren's been done. Oh no, he's giving these Zealots an opportunity to cause so much more damage than they should have been able to. Hero vs Dark is always a very sloppy matchup between these two. Dark was clearly shocked by the timing attack, surprised that his Massling was holding as well as it was, and then forgot about the Roach Warren being finished. Roach speed is starting up now. He's going into the Roaches, but now he's back to even workers, which means Hero finally getting a Templar Archives to spend that 1,300 gas in the bank. He's trying to do some Zealot micro, but he's got to get out of there, otherwise the Prism dies. Zealot's just going to run away. That's a good choice. Saves a few of the weak ones. He's going to hide in that top left corner. He's got an Observer there. He's got 2 Observers and a Phoenix. Why did he build Observers in this game, guys? I really don't know. He's going to go for Archon Zealot round 2. Dark's trying to redrone. He's got 14 Roaches out, which are very good versus Archons. And it does feel like Hero, he's moving a probe towards a 4th base, so he's thinking about taking another one. Actually, just sending it back into his natural to even out the mining. Zealot Archon coming in. The Roaches don't have Roach speed. Maybe Hero could do this. He's going to take out the 4th base if he chooses to target it. Good Archon pick up there. Transfuse is very nice on those Roaches. I feel like he should be dropping Archons on top of these Roaches, though. He's got to get out. Hero's overcommitting right now. Okay, yeah, pulls back. Zealot Warp in comes in. Takes out the 4th base. Nice attack for Hero on the follow-up. Very nicely done. This is really well done. Okay. What a wild setup we've got. Hero is going for +1 armor. You might wonder why that instead of +2 attack. Well, I think it's honestly just because maybe he was a little short on the gas when he clicked it. He's going to take 2 more gases. He needs a 4th Nexus, though. That's what will really get him ahead. And I like the Immortals. I wonder if Disruptors might be the play, though, because it's +2 melee and Baneling speed, which is obviously a big advantage for Dark. But Dark's economy sucks. No 4th hatchery. And it's all because he wasn't building those Roaches at all. Here we go, Roaches and Banelings coming forward. Archon's trying to do their drippy droppies. Dude, this is... Dark and Heroes games are so ridiculous, man. It's some of the weirdest high-level ZVP I've ever seen. Oh man, the door's open. Of course it's open, it's Hero, you're kidding me. Dude, oh wait, did he just recall half of his army? Or is half of his army just chilling there? Okay, I guess half of his army is just chilling in his natural. Archon Zealot should defend up here easily. Nicely done. The Archon drop on the front staying pretty active, but hard to micro that when you don't use control groups. Oh, he actually does have it on a control group. It was on control group 2, now it's on control group 1. This probe is on control group 2. Hero and his ever-changing control groups. Look at these 2 numbers throughout this game if you ever want to have your brain break. Now that Observer's on number 2, and he's building a Nexus back there. Now the Observer's on 1 and 2. Now the Prism's back on number 1. I haven't talked about Heroes control groups for a while. I used to talk about this a lot. For those who don't know, basically he uses just select all army, and mostly he clicks on the minimap and just boxes things to do stuff. But he will use 1 and 2 for the most recent units that he's selected. So that probe he selects, it goes on number 2. These Zealots he sends across the map, they go on number 1. He selects these 2 Adepts, they go on number 2. The Zealots, they're still on number 1. But when he selects something else, they'll replace that hotkey on number 1. It is one of the strangest way of using control groups in the world. No one else does this. I've asked Hero multiple times, and he just kind of says, yeah, I know it's weird. It's probably not the best, but it works for me. That's essentially the summary. The summary of his feelings is, I just am used to this and like the way it feels, and I kind of developed it on my own, and I don't really know why. I just started using it this way, and that's what happens. Adepts get caught up top on the bottom. Zealots come in. Oh, Ling Bane shut down. Very nice fight for Dark. Very nice fight for Dark. That was really good. He cleans up the Zealots, cleans up the Adepts pretty much for free. If Hero can get all these gases up, that's going to be great. If he can get... He needs Cannon Battery here. His third base is actually the weak point. This base is quite well defended with Cannon Battery Archon. Oh, he's going to catch this, though. That's a good catch for him. Zealots will find that. He's got +2 attack on the way now as well, so he's starting to catch up on upgrades while building double disruptors. Oh, the Archon! Archon Colossus up here, but the Banelings take out the battery overcharge. He needs to bring the rest of his army up. Great micro by Hero, though. Oh my god, his Archon pickups have been exceptional. And he is going to take out a Ravager on the way home. Looks like a Baneling rolled in, though. 2 Banelings got 9 probes on his mineral lines during that. He needs to reprobe right now, unless he wants to go a bit more all in. A few more Banelings roll in, but they don't get anything in the natural. Good handling and crisis management by Hero. Remember, Hero is way ahead, and all he needs to do is macro up here. But of course, this is where Hero will throw his army across the other side of the map and throw the game away. Because this is every Hero PvZ in the last 3 months has been him getting ahead and then throwing the game. And it's really unfortunate to see, but he has a mental block where whenever he wins a fight, he looks so panicked to counterattack that he's attacking when he doesn't need to. Don't get me wrong, he's still got a scary army. This might work, but there is just no need to push right now. People will say I'm being overly harsh. It's facts, guys. It is facts. There is no need for him to push right now. All he's done is open up chances for the Banelings to do harassment. I mean, look how good his reaction speed is. Oh, but he's going to lose a lot of units here. Oh, the probes! They turned around into them, and that one's going to get a big juicy as well. Yep, and he left his door open, and Ling Bane runs in the main and the natural. It's so upsetting that a player can have such exceptional micro on the front and always leave their door unmanned and always over-eagerly go for a counterattack when he wins a fight. The Zerg attack failed, which means the Zerg is in a desperate position. But Hero goes for the attack, and yes, it's a judgy cast from Pig today. I apologize for those who are big Hero fans. You guys know I am as well. But this was just so unnecessary. This last 2 minutes of this game could have just been probing up, adding a few more disruptors, getting a +3 upgrade, add a 5th base. Dark stuck on lair tech on 4 bases. He's just starting a 5th. His main is a natural, are mostly mined out. He's so low in terms of his follow-up. He has no hive, he has no follow-up. But Hero, once again, is going to go for a crazy attack. I mean, this time it makes a bit more sense. Oh! He gets a decent first disruptor shot. The Zealots are diving on top. Let's see if he can do it. Massling Bane comes in for the counterattack. Third base getting breached. Natural is walled off. On the front, this fight needs to go very well for Hero because he is getting blitzed at home. Disruptor shot takes out a few queens. Archon on the top side does come in. There's so much Immortal Archon that he might just... Dark might not have enough to be able to hold on. Even with a pack of Ravagers trying to land Biles and run back, he's getting overrun right now. But the units are spreading out. Maybe Dark can make something happen here. He can't stand and fight with those Immortals, though. The base trade is going to go well for him, though. There's nothing at home to defend for Hero. The Roach Ravager tries to come in. They're going to try and take out the Prism. They do force it to go back and start picking up these Immortals. And look at that nice micro for Hero, though. His micro is very good. Archon and the Natural will get cleaned up. As his units spread out, he starts to bleed out more and more of these units. And that is a problem. Hero was in a very good spot in this game. Now Dark finding a way to work his way back into it. Dark's Roach micro, he's getting the disruptors as well. Dark is an absolute monster at making the comeback. He gets the Colossus. It's just a few scraps of Protoss spread around the map. Oh my lord. Dark, you comeback king, you. Did Hero give you opportunities that he shouldn't have? Absolutely. But did you work hard to get back in it? Yes, as you always do. GG, well played. That is such a ridiculous game. Dark and Hero, as always, having some sloppy, crazy Zerg versus Protoss. All right, guys, that was a disaster of a game one for both sides. I mean, to be fair, Dark did some very good moves, but forgetting the Roaches in the midst of the attack was a big mistake. not noticing his Roach Warren was done until he actually looked at his third base where the Roach Warren was finished, because the Zealots were there attacking it, and he was like, oh, I can build Roaches. But Hero, yeah, we did a bit of a post-game analysis. I doubt I'll include that in the YouTube video, where I was just kind of almost raging looking at his position. He had Immortal, Archon, Disruptor, and Colossus. So like all the power units of Ground, Protoss. And he had an Observer seeing that Dark didn't even have a 5th base. So he knew it was a 4-base Zerg stuck on Lair Tech. And he had all the counters to it. And he just needed to build more of those counters, let another upgrade or two finish, you know, and then go win the game. So Hero really threw that game away. This is 90% of Hero's PvZs recently. But especially against Dark, he always gets ahead versus Dark and always throws the game away. This has been going for over 6 months now, where Hero has a mental block against Dark. You ask him about it and he'll just say, Dark's such a clever player. He's so good at ZVP. He's really tricky. I never am confident facing him. And it does, when he talks like that, I do wonder if he's ever looked at the replays and realized how far ahead he consistently is in every single time he plays Dark. Like, it's very rare that Hero is behind at the 7-minute mark versus Dark. But it's also very rare that even when he does beat Dark, that he wins in anything one side. It's always like a 3-2 or a 2-1. It's always down to the final bit. It's always very close and back and forth series. And I'm highly critical of these guys because they are big. They're getting inside their own heads against each other a little bit. And I think Hero is the better player on paper, but he seems to mind game himself harder than Dark, whereas when Dark gets in a bad spot, he levels up. And when Hero gets in a good spot, he seems to level down. And that's what makes their game so unpredictable, is Hero can always lose no matter what advantage he has. Dark can always win no matter what disadvantage he has. The problem for Dark is that he can't seem to not fall behind in the early game. And that's where he struggles, is because, you know, Hero's just kind of catching him off and always surprising him with the early game builds. So good on Hero there. He's going to try and hide this probe. Oh, look, he's going to block the third. He's going to try to come in at about 2 minutes 30, which is when the third base normally goes down, and just block it. Is he chronoing an Adept to join up? Yeah. Do we see a second chrono? I think we might see a second chrono. We often do with this sort of build. Probe comes in, puts down a pylon. Ooh, and the other 2 Lings are already across the map. 2 Lings cannot kill the pylon on their own. Great disruptive build order. But Hero does need to leave the other Adept at home. Otherwise, those Lings will get in and cause a ruckus. Stargate does go up there. I love this opening for Hero. He can just cancel that pylon. Yep, gets his money back. And the Adept will shade in towards that main base. Queen is getting lured off creep. That's a mistake for Dark. Even though he wants to get that base up, that means his main mineral line is open. That Adept can micro its little heart out and take out these Zerglings. He accidentally just hit... Oh, no. He split up the attacks, but he does take out both Zerglings here. So this is great value, getting 3 or 4 Lings. Even though they're not drones, the Adept hasn't taken any damage. The Queen is still off creep on the natural, which means the Adept can cancel the shade and pick off some drones. This is not good for Dark at all. Nice Spore Trick, though. And can Hero get a drone? Good Spore Tricks. Okay, good chaos management there for Dark. He does get his third base down. Loses a few Lings. It's not a great situation, though, because he's also been so distracted that he now has a Omega supply block on 36. He does an Extractor Trick to get 1 more unit out, but you can see here lots of minerals and the lava starting to stack up. So a great opening for Hero. Just a good little twist in the opening stage has put him up at a 10-worker advantage. Obviously, that 10-worker advantage won't last for long. Once the Overlords are out, all the drones will start coming. But there's going to be Oracles behind that as well. And being supply blocked that hard does tend to slow down future Queen production and so on. Third Nexus is there. Pylon does go up as well. Oracle flying in. These Adepts coming forward. There's 12 Zerglings on the map, which is more than enough to deal with those Adepts. Those Adepts should be canceling that shade. And nice handling. Hero should just back off with those, seeing plenty of Zerglings on the D. And Oracle's going to go for the double kill. But good micro by Dark. Oh, not on that drone. 1 drone went north, took a hit, somehow survived. Oracle takes a lot of damage for a single worker. Overlord sees everything Hero is doing. Dark's drone count is slowly recovering. He's got plenty of Queens. He's got an Evo chamber. His worker count still leaves something to be desired. Especially as this third base is starting to come up now. Hero can rally to that third. He's got Twilight Forge and 4 gases mining. I don't like that he let that Overlord scout everything he's doing, but he's playing so standard. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. But Dark at least feels confident he's not playing against anything too weird this game. So Hero comes in, gets another 3 workers, maintaining that advantage so far. 4th base up top does go down. Still no Spore Crawler in the natural. He's just got one in the main and one in the 3rd. The Oracle's going to split up, leaving one at the 3rd base. A good idea here, just for a bit of safety. It's the damaged Oracle, so likely to die if he dives in the base. And Oracles do beat Queens one-on-one, but with Transfuse and extra Queens nearby, not a good idea to take that fight. 4 Adepts are going to go around the north. The Link +1 on the way, +1 melee, and now Lair on the way for Dark as well. And at decent times, Dark's got the worker count a bit closer to even. He's getting close to that 90 supply mark, so he's got to be very cautious about the 90 supply block that plagues so many. The Adepts and Oracles distracting him, increasing that likelihood that Dark doesn't notice it, and he doesn't. He's just under 90 supply, which means when his next lava injects pop, he's going to go to build a big round of drones or Zerglings, and he's going to be capped. Oh, the 4th base gets, or 5th base gets cancelled. Nice catch here for Hero. Dark still has not realized he's supply capped because his hatchery gave him 6 more supply, which gives him the illusion of not being supply capped. He builds a single Overlord. He's got a lot of money sitting there. Dark needs to get on top of that spending. He's trying to play straight to 5 hatchery upgraded Zerglings. And you know what? That's a very good way to counter a Blink style. He should have lost the previous game to an Archon Zealot timing, playing this mass Zergling build. This time he's going to go straight Hydra Den by the looks of it. Wait, Infestation Pit? And a Hydra Den? He's playing Ling Lurker? What in the hell is this build? Is he going to rush Hive for Lurkers? Dark is an absolute madman. I'm pretty sure he's rushing Hive for Lurkers and Hero's going Storm, which is terrible against that. Oh, this might just be a crazy build counter. I mean, Dark is in such a fragile position. No Baneling Nest, no Roach Warren, Hydra Den super duper late. He would have died to a big Glaive Adept, a big Chargelot Archon timing, anything like that. But as it is, he's scouting everything, and Hero's still doing nothing to stop that. Yes, his Adepts get 8 drones, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, this is pretty good. 9 drones, even. The Oracles do pull back, but he's letting Dark scout everything. Dark's being so greedy. He's already got a Hive started. I think we're going to see a Lurker Den start in a moment as well. Yeah. Dark is literally just rushing to Lurker, 5 base Lurker Ling with double upgrades. And all he's got to cover himself is 50 Lings on the ground, which, yeah, they're good versus Stalkers. They're not good versus a lot of other things. But he has Hero's number in this game. And that's the thing is, would Dark feel confident playing such a greedy style that's so weak to so many things if Hero was actually able to execute a proper Zealot Archon timing in game 1? The answer is no. He would be much more cautious. There's no way he'd be happy gambling, but if your opponent screws up the counter to this sort of greed in game 1, of course you're going to do it in game 2. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hero has failed to broke it. And he's got to, if he hits a timing pre-Lurker, he could still do well with Stalkers and Storm. Storm counters Zerglings very well. There's literally nothing but Zerglings, a few Queens, and now a couple of Hydras coming out. If he just sits at home, though, the Robos only just started. Hero is going to need to go Robo Bay and 2 more Robos immediately into Disruptors, or the Lurkers are going to give him a lot of trouble. I do hope Hero realizes what's up in time, but he hasn't seen the Hive. He's seen 5 bases, so he's thinking about max Lair Tech units, Hydra Bane. He's not thinking about that fast Lair Hive Tech. Seismic Spines and the first Lurkers are morphing now. Oracle's coming forward. They still see these Lings on the map. Let's see if Hero can scout this. He sees a couple of Hydras. He does see 1 Lurker as well. And like I said, Hero needs to react big time. We need to see a Robo Bay and 2 more Robos. Second Robo goes down. Robo Bay goes down. Okay, he's going to go double Robo. I really think triple when you're this far behind. He's already got Lurkers out. You don't have an answer. Hero's going to try and do it with double Robo. He starts an Observer first. He's building cannons and batteries everywhere, even in his main base, because Dark is a big fan of dropping and potentially nidusing the main. So you can see that Hero is like, okay, survival mode, man. Oracles, oh, getting good vision. In the middle of the map, he's getting jumped on, though. And there we go, does blink those Stalkers back. Stalkers trying to deny this Overseer in the main. I think if he just leaves 1 Stalker on patrol, he'll be fine. The problem is, Hero literally can't do that because he F2s all the time. So you can see those Stalkers immediately get pulled to the front. If he builds another cannon here, he should be in range of any Niduses that pop up, though. And he's actually going to build a single Phoenix and air weapons as well, preparing for the late game and to get rid of that Overseer. Meanwhile, Massling Lurker coming down south. Guys, where is his Robotech? He's built 3 Observers, but nothing else. Where's the Robotech? This was the most urgent thing when he saw those Lurkers, but he did not build Lurker Tech, anti-Lurker Tech yet. Nothing but cannon battery. Batteries are pretty good. Archons are pretty good. No battery overcharge going down. Big assault coming in on the right. Every single High Templar just got killed by 15 Zerglings. He just lost every single High Templar. Hero got distracted by getting attacked on 3 fronts at once, and all of the High Templar went down. A very successful attack here for Dark, especially if he gets his Lurkers out. On the south, it looks like he's going to be able to take out those Lurkers with some Zealot Oracle, but this was a terrible loss for Hero. Unable to defend that correctly, and a little bit slow on the Disruptors as well. You can defend with these sorts of units. You can tell attacking in the middle, catching those High Templar out, such a problem for Hero. Really wounded him. Nice Disruptor shot coming in. And good Disruptor shot there. Dark does spread backwards at the last second. He's got Lings going in. The cannon's doing very well on that base. The mass +2 melee Zerglings just onslaughting here. And with 92 drones behind it, he can do whatever he wants. He's swapping back into Hydraling Bane now by the looks of it. And Adrenal is finished. +3 melee, +2 range, Baneling speed. Disruptor's trying to come out, but Hero lost so many important units. Archons and all of that. Baneling's trying to morph on the top. They're thinking about rallying in. Oracle's going to dance around. Ling Hydra coming down the south. I think the numbers are too high. We're going to need to see the balls of God. We're going to need to see the greatest balls. We're going to need to see that Purification Nova inserted into the Zerg army like the Tide Pod into a TikToker's mouth. The Banelings don't quite get in. Nice defense there. Blocks all those slow Banes just before Baneling speed finishes. Doesn't lose any probes. Hero's getting closer to max. He might just get there, guys. He might just get there. Disruptor's going to come forward. Looking for the pokey poke. Those Disruptors are out on their own, though, much like the High Templar were before. Oh, good spready. The Lings are going to try to get on top. Where is it? He needs something to protect those balls. Guys, you know what the first rule of getting into the Octagon is? Protect your balls at all times. And he left his hanging out. They're very low now. They've already emptied their shots. The Zealot Archon trying to spread. Banelings roll it into the mineral line. The Stalkers blink and stop some of it, but 14 probes go down. And of course, while he's distracted, the Hydraling Lurker does overwhelm down here on the bottom. Oh, a Disruptor shot lands nicely on the Hydras. Man, Hero has just got such slick micro in these defensive engagements. You give him a fight, a mismatched, outgunned section of army, and no one micros it like Hero does. I think of that grand finals where he had 5 Immortals and a Warp Prism microing back and forth, defending 2 ramps simultaneously versus a giant Bio Ghost army from Maru, and he held on for like 3 minutes straight. That was such a great game on, I think, Curious Minds it was. And, you know, it's that micro that makes Hero exceptional, but it's not enough to get you out of these deep waters. He's basically gone deep diving at 300 feet underwater, and he didn't bring an oxygen tank. He's just like, oh, forgot me oxygen tank. I don't care how great your lungs are. Once you're down there for 10 minutes and under that pressure, things are going to get bad. Eardrums are bursting. He's going to go for a desperate counterattack. A few Immortal Archon Zealot going across the map. He's trying to warp in Archons in the third to block the onslaught. That one High Templar standing there like a Chad until the Banelings blow up on his face. Zealot Archon Immortal will try to counterattacks, and we'll see what goes on. GG. Dark, man. Playing very well, and Hero, unfortunately, unable to defend that. We're going to go back immediately in this one. I really want to show that first big fight where those High Templar got caught out, because what I didn't get a chance to show was the fight on the right. So you might be like, what an idiot, how did Hero get his High Templar caught? This is much more forgivable in this game, and you got to realize, like, yeah, I do think his robo production was slow. I think he needed way more urgency on getting that up, but what you're going to notice is there is an attack on the right that distracts a lot of Hero's micro, and that's why this ends up so bad. So let's find it. Sorry, guys, I didn't realize the first attack was like 10 minutes. I thought it was like 8.5, but yeah, I'm remembering now that there's a lot of harassment in the early game. Okay, so keep in mind, a big pack of Lings came in the right, and this distracted way more of Hero's attention than it should. He should have just blinked the Stalkers back and focused everything on the middle and the left. But if we look at this from Hero's camera, we're on slower than regular speed. This is normal speed, which is obviously slower than the actual speed. And then he looks at the bottom left. Battery overcharge comes down really late there, and he looks up, and his High Templar are gone. He doesn't even notice the High Templar going down in the middle. So this was a fight where he was just a bit slow to react. Now, you might look at that and say, well, okay, I mean, everyone's a bit slow. That's the nature of StarCraft. No, there's a very good thing here, guys. These Zealots should have been harassing. And basically, he just didn't realize the army was down here. He was like, oh yeah, I've got map control with these stalkers. I see what's happening, right? What were his oracles doing up here? What were they doing up there? Why were they so far back? They're putting stasis traps down. And that's a good thing to do, but he gave up map vision, and that allowed this army to get 3/4 of the way across the map without him even realizing it was there. And that army getting so far forward without him noticing is a huge, huge problem. And of course, we're going to see stasis trap only traps a few of the lings, 4 full energy High Templar, 8 Psy Storms. And what do they kill? 1 Zergling? Oh, that is so unfortunate. So, now you can argue he should have had the High Templar spread. 2 on this base, 2 on this base. Should have battery overcharged earlier so those Archons lasted longer. And he should have been building these Disruptors earlier and had a 3rd Robo. I think those are all true, but we see what happened. Hero is distracted up here with the Stalkers. He went, oh, okay, what's happening? Tried to blink back, do some micro, looks back down here too late, activates Overcharge, warps in Zealots, looks back up there. Oh god, there's... Oh, what? Where are my High Templar? They're already gone. Unfortunate for Hero, but shout out to Dark, dude. This was such a crazy, wild build to play nothing but Zerglings. No Rotron for safety, no Baneless. Remember, this opening was really good for Hero, but Dark just played crazy, greedy 5-hatch Mass Lings straight to Hive, straight to Lurkers. It's a very greedy build. Mass Ling Lurker, it dives to a lot of things. Hero, though, was playing a bit too defensive, and now Dark's up 2-0. All right, guys, things are going well for Dark so far as we open a game 3. It's Altitude. Sending that drone out nice and early again. I love that Dark started to do this. He used to get this hatchery so delayed. And look at that. He's going to get it 49, 50 seconds. That's pretty tight. That's pretty tight indeed. It is, of course, going to be blocking the expansion is Hero. So it does set him up for some follow-ups. But that last game was not that bad, guys. Game 1 was a disaster. And I don't hold back anything I said. I'm sure there's going to be some colorful comments getting angry at me about them. And I'm okay with it. Because I will always, talk about the game the way I see fit. And I do think that first game definitely was definitely not something to be emulated. The last game, though, it's hard to deal with Lurkers coming out that early. There's like a shock factor where you're like, are there really this many Lurkers and upgraded Lings hitting me this early in the game? It's hard to deal with, and definitely pre-spreading those High Templar across the bases earlier would have been the way to do it, but Hero just didn't realize that Dark was already shoving him with so many Lurkers on the south and Lings, so... Bit of a mistake, gets punished. And, Hero's probably dead in the series, right? There's no way, guys. So for those who don't know, Hero regularly against Dark loses the first 2 games, even when he's winning them. He often straight up throws 2 games in a row. It looks terrible. You're like, are you serious? What are you doing? And then he comes back and wins 3 in a row. I have seen this happen so many times that I never count Hero out in a series versus Dark. You got to realize he still was ahead in game 1. He was ahead in game 2, definitely off blocking that 3rd. That Adept opening was really nice. The Oracles were doing good pressure. Hero did really well. Like, you cannot count Hero out. And the funny thing is, we look at Hero, and I feel like there's so many players who would be traumatized if they played like Hero did in game 1. Like, imagine Cyril. If he played a game as sloppy as Hero did in game 1, Cyril would be tilted off the face of the planet. If you guys have never watched a live tournament with like cameras of watching the players on stage, you might not realize Hero always has a smile on his face. He has a big fat smile on his face, and you might see him just kind of shake his head and wince a little bit, but he'll still have a smile. Like, he is having so much fun playing StarCraft. And yeah, he has trouble reining in his aggressive nature, but he just enjoys it. He just loves playing this action-packed, chaotic style of the game. And as a result, he knows he plays risky as all hell, and sometimes he throws away advantages and things fall apart. And he's so used to that, he is unaffected by his own massive variances in play, because that is simply the norm. That is every day of playing StarCraft as Hero is sometimes it works and it looks like great, and sometimes you look like an absolute nincompoop. And he's happy to play StarCraft like that. That's just how he plays. Hey, double tumor! It's not a tumor! Yes, it is. That's 2 dead creep tumors there. That's really nice. Slow down Dark's map control a little bit. Oracle comes out. Second one on the way already. Pylon finishes at the perfect time up here in the main base. This is looking pretty tight. I'm enjoying Hero's opening so far. Dark gets supply blocked on 44, but it's actually not that big a supply block. You can see he doesn't have that much money in the bank, so has an Overlord pop, not too late. Oracle flies in. And gets 1. Oh, miss micro for Hero. Could have got a little bit more damage or taken a bit less damage. 3 drones, though, still very good for the first Oracle. Ooh, the Adept is out there. Look at that. Almost a bait. Hero with his sloppy adept positioning, it's almost like a bait. Like, obviously that adept should be between the pylon and the gas, but he just leaves it in like random spots sometimes, so you think it's not being watched, and then he just pulls it back at the last second, and if you go too deep, the Oracle will blast you. Double gas on the natural is there. And it's Twilight Forge. Very standard opening for Hero. You know, we don't see a lot of just Blink Stalker into like fast 4th Mass Zealot Stalker Swarm anymore. I wonder if the Zerg players are so unpracticed against it, that might actually come back in the meta and be really effective as like a 1 in every 3 or 4 games. You're just like, oh, by the way, I have 4 bases, and here's 20 Blink Stalkers harassing you, and now I've got Zealots running into all your bases, and now I have a 5th base, and now I have a 6th base, and there's Zealots in your main, there's Zealots in your 4th, there's Stalkers at your 3rd, and it's like just that swarming, overwhelming style. It would be really cool if that comes back into the meta. Oh. All right, Adepts get a couple of drones, not too bad. 1 Adept in the 3rd is actually getting the money right now. Oh no, there's Oracles flying in the natural. One of the Oracles will fall, but they're gonna take out at least 1 Queen. They can take out another one. This Adept's going ham, Dark! Oh no, Dark is chucking a pig. He doesn't realize there's an Adept in his 3rd with 10, 11 kills. Oh no, Dark is chucking a pig. Oh, you know when you play like a commentator that things are not good. Dark has got to... I mean, he can't even be mad. Dark is just going to be like, did that just happen? Did I just let 15 drones die to an Adept? Oh, no. The thing is, the Adept was dying to the Queens. But then he commanded the Queens to come back and defend the Oracle. If he just A-moved them, they would have finished killing the Adept, then come over. Big mistake for Dark. Oh... Big advantage now for Hero. He's going Blink. A couple more gateways coming in here. 3 gateways are up. He's going to go to at least 5 gateways for now. Trying to go for a 4th on the right. Dark's still trying to play the same Massling Bane style. You can't keep doing this, I don't think. I mean, it is good versus Blink Oracle, so maybe. And he almost always tries to play Lings into Mass Hydraling Bane on this map, so... Should expect that Hydra Den to go down. I don't think it'll be a fast Hive this time, though. I think it'd be very silly to do that build 2 games in a row. Oh, good Queen block. Nice moves by Dark. Oh, body blocking linebacker Queens. They protect the quarterback drones there. Very well done. That is why we want those chunky lasses defending those boys at all costs. All right, here's coming forward with Stalker Oracle. It's 4 Oracles. He's building a 5th Oracle. This looks like an old school style, guys. He's got a lot of gateways covered up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gateways. That's not as many as I would hope for. He's got a lot of money floating. Where's his 4th base? Hero looking sloppy as he always does. I guess he's pumping Oracles. If he keeps pumping Oracles, that does use up a lot of money as well. 4th base starts behind this. 61 probes versus 62 drones. Looking for a kill on the 4th base. +2 melees on the way. And actually a Spire? And it didn't even come down that early, so he's not going Hydras. He's going to try and go Ling Muta, which is, it works if you're overwhelming. Oh no, Hero's Adept is not in the right positioning. For those who don't know, I'll explain the way that works in a moment. Stalkers do take out that base. Good recall on the Oracles. No probes actually going down. That actually isn't too bad. That's the classic Hero trap. Doesn't even lose a single probe to that. That is beautiful. He's only lost 1 probe this game versus 21 drones. These Stalkers microing really well as well. So the way it works, guys, is when an Adept fires, it actually takes up less space than when it's just standing there on hold position. So sometimes if you try to move past an Adept, you won't be able to get through. But then if you keep spamming the click, as it attacks you, 1 or 2 Lings will slip past it if it's not positioned perfectly. It's a weird thing with the behavior of the Adept that is specific to that unit, where as it's firing, it becomes a bit skinnier. Don't ask me to explain it. You want to ask people like Scarlet or TLO or Printf, or people who understand how the editor and the engine works a bit more if you want to understand why. I just know that's how it happens. Oracle's picking off these Queens, and a few of them do go down. Ooh, okay, with no anti-air, the Oracles are going to reign supreme. Zerglings do find some Stalkers on the right side. I think this seems like a good way to just push this game through. Still only on 7 gate production, but with non-stop Stargate, it's like, hey man, guess what? You can't deal with the Oracles. Oh wait, there's Mutalisks out. Cancels an Oracle, starts Phoenix production. Does Hero right now. The Mutas are going to cause a bit of drop problems. The Zerglings want to go after the Stalkers though. Notice he positions them on the Stalkers, not the Zealots. And, oh man, the unit count's getting very close. There's still 12 Mutas up. There's only 6 Stalkers. That's all that shoots up on the map. Oh no. Oh, this is looking like, I think Hero's lost too many units, even though he's got a 4th and he's obviously ahead in some ways. He has to defend this big, massive wave. 13 mutas, 40 zerglings. Nothing but Ling muta coming across the map. His door's wide open, because of course his door's wide open. But Dark pulls the zerglings back. But no warp-ins in time. The Stalkers and the Zealots trying to come up there. He's going to focus the Cybercore. No Cybercore means no warp-ins of Stalkers. Oh, no, that is a disaster. Without Stalker warp-ins, Hero will get taken out by the Mutalisk Flood because he just can't build anything that shoots up other than Phoenix. He's got 2 Phoenix. He cannot afford to lose those. Zealots in the choke point, putting up a very good fight. There's a battery there. The Phoenix cannot die. You can't. Oh, he loses a Phoenix. That's rough. That's rough. He's only got 1 Stargate. He's trying to rebuild his Cybercore right now, but it's still 15 seconds away before he warps in. Stalker's trying to pull back to the battery there, but now the third base is wide open. There's Lings in the main. The whole mineral line getting slaughtered. Zealots do get back there, but another Phoenix falls, guys. He's lost 2 Phoenix, which means he's losing that critical mass. He can't get them up to defend. The Mutas, though, are getting very heavily damaged, so maybe, just maybe, Hero's down 8 workers after all this, but as the Cybercore comes back up and the Stalker Orphan's coming, he somehow scrambles together a hold. He hobbles together a defense, and his 4th is still mining. His main is still mining, as is his natural. He's putting his workers back to mine as best he can. He's trying to build some cannons and batteries around. He's trying to make Phoenix one at a time. And remember that Dark did not start his 4th base back up for a long time. Finally, it's about to finish. He's got +2 melee. He's trying to rebuild Queens for the first time in a while because he has no lava, especially for mass Ling production. He's on 17 Mutalisks. So I would imagine you want to probably squeeze a few Corruptors in here as Dark, and you definitely want to get more gases because you're going to try and play mass air. So yeah, he's going to try and go 10 base, 5 base, 10 gas off probably 80 workers, and he's going to look to just basically overwhelm the Phoenix with mass Muta Corruptor and use Lings. But Hero not going to give him time to drone up. Dark's being a bit too greedy right now. If Hero can hit him with a timing, he's only got 20 Lings on the ground. So yeah, Dark's actually a little dangerous in this situation, but it's so scary for Hero to attack. That being said, Hero's a mad dog. Links forward, gets a Muta, one of them deep in the red as well. Phoenix come forward, Mutas do turn, they get a volley off. And here we go, Lings are going to run in again. The Lings need to go into the main base if they want to do anything, but there are Zealot warp-ins in both bases. I think he's going to be fine against that. And the Phoenix, look at that! The Phoenix intercept the Mutas! This is really good! Dark actually just taps out there, realizing the Mutas are counted by the Phoenix. Let's rewind a few seconds to explain that. So the Mutas are counted by the Phoenix. The army's just diving in, and he's just been so greedy. He's got nothing but a handful of Zerglings to defend. Right? He's got nothing but a handful of Zerglings to defend. The Mutas are basically deactivated here, and his Lings are not going to find any damage. So that was exactly where Hero needed to strike. If Hero waited a bit longer, he didn't have Phoenix range or a second Stargate. Once you get like 6 Corruptors in front of the Mutas, they'll beat the Phoenix. And then you can start making like Ling Bane or Roach Ling on the ground to help just swarm over the Zealot Stalker, and you can do okay. But Hero with the killer instinct there goes for it and does manage to take it out. Jesus. A lot of that, I think, comes off the back of that Hero Adept, but very well played there by Hero to keep himself alive in this series. All right, guys. Dark is up in this series, and he wants to finish with a sneaky. How do I know that? It's because, look at this boy. I don't think he's going for that gold base. I think this is a proxy hatch. Now, it could just be a hatch block, or he could actually be putting a hatchery outside the base. We'll see which one he goes for. He's going to come out, and he's like, oh, you're blocking my base? Oh, no. I'm going to pretend to go take an expansion. Actually, he might still go for a hatchery. If it is just a hatchery block, you can go hatchery here, and then third hatchery on the other. Oh, he's straight up cheesing. Okay, so Hero is very lazy with his probe scouting historically. He doesn't check that the third base has gone down. And because this is a normal hatch first timing, he's just going to see a gas go down at about a minute 10, a pool go down at about a minute 15, and he's going to go, oh yeah, that's totally normal. Now, if you pay close attention, you'd notice that the gas is 5 seconds late, and the spawning pool is also... Where's the spawning pool? That's also 5 seconds late. But that would require you to have attention to detail. Hero is not paying attention. That spawning pool is 5 seconds late. It's obvious that this is a proxy hatch if you pay attention to your timings, Hero. Hero's too busy probe harassing. He's not watching. No, he didn't pay attention at all. There's 2 tells. Number 1, you go over there and realize, hey, wait, where's the third hatchery? Where the other one is, you actually check the spawning pool and the gas timing. And Hero, he did not pay attention. Now there's drones coming across the map. He's got to cancel that Nexus right now. Did he not see the drones leave the base? I guess he didn't. Somehow he didn't notice the drones because I guess he thought they were just getting pulled to the natural or something. Hero, he's building a pylon in the main. He has no idea what's happening right now. Hero, if he goes down here, he can see all this lava saved up. That's another huge tell of aggression. Hero is not paying attention at all. Now he sees creep outside his base, cancels the Adept and makes a Stalker. He had so many opportunities to scout this. You got to realize, though, that this is too late to defend this. He's going to try and wall off the high ground and give up the natural, and that's his best bet, because there is no way he defends this wall off. 3 Spine Crawlers already building, and cancel the Nexus, Hero. There's no reason to let that Nexus finish, in my opinion. There's no way you're going to defend this natural, mate. There is no way. He lets it finish. Oh, that's not a good choice. That's 400 minerals down the drain that he needs to build gateways on the high ground to wall off. He's going to try and make a miraculous hold. Let's see if he can out-micro here, Dark. Problem is, Dark's already got Hentacle action coming, guys. I don't know if Hero's into those sort of cartoons or not, but he's about to find out. Is Dark going to awaken some sort of desire to have 3 tentacles probing him all at once? Well, maybe. That pylon's going to go down. The battery, cancel the battery. Oh, he's not even going to get a second sentry out. Okay, he doesn't get the second sentry out. The Lings are going after him here. That battery, cancel, Hero. He does at least cancel that to get some money back. He's building more batteries on the high ground. The Lings are coming in. Ling speed is very late with this version of the build because it is just a hatch first, but it doesn't matter. He's already denied the warp gate upgrade, the gateway. There's just immortals being built one at a time and an emergency wall off on the high ground. Hero can defend the high ground, but guess what? Dark knows once you give up the low ground, that's all the damage he needs to get. He's starting a hatchery, and he should start droning behind this as well, and that'll give him a massive lead. This is an old school all-in from Dark, and Hero just did not check. He did not check for it. Oh! You gotta be careful running up that ramp, because he can force field you and stop your Lings from escaping. Right now, though, Hero trying to get some more pickoffs here. This is very greedy moving down the ramp. He's just trying to get some free kills if he can. Second Immortal's on the way. He'll have to go an Observer soon. Probably a Warp Prism, then an Observer, so his Immortals can break through and they can pick up if they need to. But look at this. Drones building. Dark's already got Ling speed as well. I mean, he's in such a good spot. This is just a very nice build to throw out there. If you know your opponent doesn't scout very carefully, you throw these cheeses out once in a series, and Hero's going to be playing from way behind. Immortals do go forward. Got to watch out for those Lings. Yeah, you got to be careful. Barriers are both gone without a Warp Prism to save you. If you get surrounded and lose these Immortals, you're screwed. He really wants to get a Nexus started, but I think taking damage on the Immortals is a big problem. So you've got to let them heal their shields now a little bit. He's got the Observer coming out that will allow him to clear up the creep, and then it'll move forward across the map to scout. Dark's got 2 bases fully mining, 32 workers. Oh. Okay, barely stops the creep tumor at the bottom there. It's going to take a little while for it to recede and the Nexus to go down. 2 more sentries are building, as well as... Oh, where'd those sentries warp in, guys? Am I blind? Oh, they're not warping in, are they? Because he doesn't have Warp Gate. That's a problem. His Cybercore has not started Warp Gate research. He's not even starting it right now. Double Immortal drop can be hard to deal with, though. But Dark realizes this, so he's building more Lings and more Queens. And I think his idea is, I can defend with Queens at home and just keep flooding you with Zerglings whenever you try to attack me. So if you move out at all as Hero, you're going to lose your Nexus. This puts Hero in a terrible position, because your Observer sees a fully saturated natural expansion. You're going to be like, oh man. You see Zerglings building though, and that should tell you to stay at home. Probes are building. What units can get you back from here? I think one of the problems you're going to run into is if you go full ground style, you're going to be very weak to mutas as Hero. But if you don't get splash damage like Colossus up or Archons, the Mass Ling is just going to overwhelm you. Oh, he moved a bit far out to clear up those creep tumors on the map. Oh, the sentries went a bit far. He needs another force field there. He needs another force field. He's going to do it. Oh, good last second force field. And actually, the battery's really helping out there. Dude, is he going to trap all these units? Oh, he actually kills a lot of them. Dude, that was a miraculous Hero hold. That was, guys, if you always practice leaving your door open, apparently you get very good at baiting them into throwing 15 Zerglings or so away for nothing. That was actually a really cool move. Robobay's going to go down. Yeah, so he's going to go like Colossus Disruptor. And then basically you just need to kill the Zerg or before he gets Mutalisks. This is usually what this devolves into. You've got a way better army as Protoss, but they've got a way bigger army because they're going to be able to push back this Prism with the Ling Queen. And then get that third up. Good harassment though, the transfuses are gone. Yep. I mean, you can still one-shot Zerglings, so it might just be worth picking off Lings at a certain point, but good micro by Dark to keep those Queens alive. Observer sees lots of Roaches and Ravages starting to come down here now. And the Immortals just... Ooh, careful. Does pull back. extra gateways coming down. So it's going to be 4 gateways. Are you serious, Hero? We're not going to wall off. We're not going to wall off. Really? You're going to leave your... What am I looking at right now? Why? Why would you? He's like, nah, man, it's too late now. Not going to wall off. Like, why would you do that versus Zerg, man? That's crazy. Come on. Are you just a troll, Hero? Are you a troll? He's actually trolling us at this point. He's like, trolls are for pussies, man. Well, walls are for pussies, man. Like, I'm not gonna wall off. I want to fight. I don't fucking hide behind a wall. You're like, ah, jeebus, man. Okay. It's just unnecessary. You're building the gateways. Why not build them here? This is, yeah, definitely a bit special. Disruptors coming out, sentries. He's going to go warp prism speed, so he's going to try and drop some balls on Dark. That's a good idea, but Dark's got that 13 worker advantage. He's adding more gases. I would say roach speed's not started, spire's not started, and he's building spine crawlers. So to me, it does feel like Dark is maybe a little bit paranoid. I mean, he's already got 3 spines. Does he really need 5 spine crawlers? He cancels one of them, but definitely feels like he's maybe a little confused on that. Okay, nice double ball, but only gets a single queen, damages another one. And he attacks his own queen to finish them off. Dark there feels like giving a helping hand to Hero. This is what I'm talking about. Queens always tearing each other down. You never see Gary and Bruce do that to each other. Only a couple of silly queens. Always fighting at each other. Oh, big double ball! 12 drones! Oh my god, but where's the army? Where's the army? Oh no! He just gets caught out! Dark just goes around the edge of the map with mass ravaging and just kills him. He just runs around, surprises him, and just kills him. Oh my god, massive disruptor shots looked promising, but he split his army up. He didn't have a wall off. He could have had his whole army together at the 3rd, but instead Hero decided to not wall off and split his army in 2 when his army was mostly sentry based, which means there's very little meat and potatoes. The Colossus trying to fight there. The natural, he's already lost 10 probes. The 3rd trying to micro is harder. This actually looked like he might have been able to get back in it if he walled that base off and wasn't caught off guard with those 2 Immortals and Sentries going down so quickly. But Dark just dives on top, catches Hero with his pants down, and this seems like it's so much damage because what have you got? You got a Colossus, a Prism, you got some Disruptors. He actually takes out a Ravager there, not bad. Gets maybe, oh, good dodge. So the thing is, yeah, Dark killed so many valuable units, and he got a bunch of probes, and there we go. The mutas is what I was talking about. You have to kill them before they get to mutas. You've got no counterplay, because you don't have a Twilight, you don't have a Stargate, so you can't have Blink. We still don't have a Wall-Off, because Wall-Offs are for tryhards and cucks. I mean, Hero's not neither of those, and therefore, of course, he's not going to build one. Hero is a meme at this point, man. He's the best... I think he might be the best player in the world to ever do so many silly things repeatedly. It's amazing. I love Hero because his games are fun and dynamic, but he definitely needs to sit down with a PvZ coach. I think Classic's got to sit him down and teach him how to wall off, put units in the wall, and how to max out before attacking when ahead in the matchup. Those are the main 3 things Hero's lacking right now. It's counterattacking and throwing games away, leaving his wall wide open, or not even building a wall in a game like this. And obviously he was in a bad spot from the start, so maybe I'm being a little critical in this game. He was in a rough spot. The fact that he made it as close as he did, like those disruptor drops were actually really well done. But it just goes to show how hard the position that he was in was. And yeah, Dark gets him with a surprise hatchery. Plays the next series of the game pretty well as well. Lots of Mutalisks coming in. Is going to pick off a few of these Stalkers. Overall, very well played by Dark this series. And it just felt like he had the number of Hero. He was catching him off with many, many moves multiple times, and these Mutalisks going to dance around. No Blink, no Phoenix. You cannot handle Mutalisks in that scenario. GG, well played. Dark makes his way to the grand finals.